Greetings, my name is Chamomile and this is an exploration of the entire galaxy sector by sector. Today, we're talking about Keldrath Sector in the 12th Cerulean Spear Command. Keldrath Sector is home to Gibu, homeworld of the Vibugri, a species of large insectoid aliens. And that's pretty much it for this sector. It's one of the sectors split off from the Tion hegemony at the end of the Clone Wars, but it's on the fringe of the old hegemony and doesn't include any of the worlds that part of the galaxy is famous for. Not every sector has a story. Greetings, my name is Chamomile and this is an examination of the entire galaxy sector by sector. Today, we're looking at the Ash Worlds. The Ash Worlds were the furthest extent of the empire of Zim the Despot, who united the Tion cluster under his iron fist and then pushed the Tionese border far beyond their home cluster. The Ash Worlds were known to the Tion hegemony as the Kyrium Reaches, and were the source of the valuable ore Kyrium, used by the Tionese for armor ranging from infantry carapace to war droid plating, all the way up to starship hulls. These days, it sits at an unfortunate crossroads of being fairly rare and also not very good compared to modern Durasteel, and it's kind of weird reading records from the era and people are just going nuts for all the Kyrium coming out of the sector. Lord Zim, you'll never believe the extraordinary mountains of garbage we have pulled out of this planet! It was very good ore for the time, though. The Kyrium Reaches are where the Tion hegemony bordered the Hutt Empire, and they did not do well there. It is from here that Zim marshaled his forces to confront the Hutt Empire at Vontor, where he was repeatedly defeated and, so the stories go, betrayed and captured. Zim's two throne worlds in this sector were Astagon and Huranom, and like all Zim's throne worlds, they were lush, beautiful, and prosperous worlds. Their location on the border between the Hutt Empire and the Tion hegemony meant that they were subject to constant Hutt raiding, however. When the Tion hegemony began discussions of alliance with the early Republic against the Hutt Empire, discussions that would eventually break down and result in the Tionese War, but the Hutts didn't know that at the time, so they laid waste to the whole region in order to create a desolate buffer zone that could not be used as a staging ground for a potential Tion Republic coalition fleet. The devastation was so thorough that it's only in the last couple of years that an academic consensus has emerged for exactly which planets Astagon and Huranom actually were, and Astagon in particular was reduced to a barren rock. It's still got a breathable atmosphere, but with no arable land, it's about the last place you'd want to put a colony. People suggested that Colomux and even Lantilles might have been the secret identity of Astagon and Huranom, but that never made much sense because why would Zim use planets all the way over here for staging an attack on Hutt space over here? But if you see towns or resorts called Astagon in the middle of the mid-rim, that's why. Huranom is still an inhabitable planet, but its population was totally wiped out and its environment massively altered by the Hutt genocide. It's now called Windigal II, and the colonists there had no idea of the historical significance of the disease-ridden swamp world they were trying to set up shop on, nor that most of the diseases it is ridden with were artificially engineered by Hutt psychopaths. The New Republic looked at this desolate wasteland brought about by an ancient genocide and said, yeah, this is the perfect place to put New Alderaan. Okay. In fairness, it wasn't the New Republic. The Rebel Alliance established a secret colony for Alderaanians who had been off-world when the Death Star destroyed the planet, in order to preserve Alderaanian culture, and they were doing it in the immediate aftermath of Alderaan's destruction, so they were limited to Outer Rim planets that were remote enough to be defended by nearby rebels in case the Empire decided they needed to make a point of finishing the job. New Alderaan isn't a terrible planet to live on, given those constraints, but unsurprisingly, most surviving Alderaanians moved to Kamas or Coruscant in the years after the New Republic was established. The Ash Worlds are also home to the planet Iego, secluded in a nebula that provides warmth and light without any nearby star. The lack of a nearby star means that Iego got skipped over by galactic explorers for millennia. Iego is called the Planet of 1,000 Moons. I don't know how literal that is, and probably it's 50 moons tops, because 1,000 moons sounds pretty impossible gravitationally, but they've definitely got a ton of moons. Iego is home to the Diathim, a species called angels by spacers because spacers love their stories of Outer Rim angels. Most of the stories told about so-called angels are not at all true of the Diathim specifically, but the Diathim are at least a real species. The CIS stumbled across Iego during the Clone Wars and deployed forces there, but none of them ever came back. I doubt the planet is literally haunted, but clearly there's some unexplained phenomena going on there that make it pretty hard to come and go like it was a regular planet. And we're in the Outer Rim, so here's the prerequisite list of 18 million allegedlys. Allegedly, there is a three-headed alien species called the Nini native to the Ash Worlds. Allegedly, there is a species of star dragons called Duinaguin who live reclusive lives in the Outer Rim and go to the ash world of Zaquaris to die. Allegedly, there is a planet in the ash worlds called Chiron, which is inhabited by centauriforms, one of whom became a Jedi in Luke's Jedi Order and was presumably killed by Kylo Ren at some point. Sounds made up, but I can't find an exhaustive list of all Jedi trained by Luke, so I can't prove it. Hashemut is allegedly the site of an ancient Jedi stronghold from which the Jedi Order, then based on nearby Ossus, kept watch over the Tion cluster. Allegedly, there is a desert planet in the ash worlds called Bis, no not that one, and it is home to the Abyssin species, violent, cannibalistic space trolls who regenerate rapidly. The Abyssin are definitely a real species and are favored by the Hutts as slave warriors, but I have no idea if their homeworld is actually in the ash worlds since the Hutts established a breeding population of them in Hutt space ages ago. Admittedly, maybe this is just me hoping against hope that there aren't two different planets called Bis that are completely unrelated because that would be really annoying.